So we got the 2024 GTR alongside with this retro design concept car that I've been seeing going around. I kind of just want to talk about this mainly to sum up this whole video. Is what I want to talk about is how they took cues from the R34, which is this one right here, and from the previous GTRs that we've been getting for the past 15 years, and kind of put them together to make this design that we have right here. And I think that was pretty ingenious, despite it not being a real car. Just the way that they did that, especially with all the retro design cars coming out. I think this is perfect because it's paying homage to both the R34 and the recent GTRs. They both kind of have their own, cult following, and putting those two together, I think is pretty exciting. So the main thing that I kind of wanted to explain was pretty much when you look at the entire cars together, you can see, okay, proportionally, they're pretty much the exact same car. And then when you look at the graphics, then you can see, okay, this up here, you can see, okay, this is more so R34 and more retro street racer type of look. And I think putting those two together is pretty exciting. And another reason why I kind of got excited was because looking at this, and again, talking about the proportions pretty much being exactly the same, it's like, okay, this is something that actually could be done. It wouldn't cost that much. It can realistically go into production. So I'm like, maybe on the off chance, that would be pretty exciting, but I don't think I should be that naive to believe that. Another thing I want to talk about was kind of based on the fact that I say this one kind of looks like a more street racer. I can kind of imagine like an intercooler, like one of those exposed intercoolers sticking out, as opposed to when you look at this car, it's like, obviously people do a bunch of stuff with these and make them pretty cool, but this one, the concept kind of looks more exciting straight out of the gate, especially with all the horizontal and vertical lines, and the real retro design I think is appealing, especially nowadays. All the people that's probably buying these new GTRs are the ones that grew up wanting the old ones, so I think this would definitely be something that many people that's in the market to even buy a GTR would be pretty interested in. Looking from a side view, you can see again kind of what I was saying with them having pretty much the exact same proportions, almost being the exact same car, just with graphic details being different. And I think what made me somewhat excited when I seen it. But I will say the only thing that I don't like about the concept is this kind of wedge right here that kind of sits next to that. I think that again is a homage to the R34, which also has that kind of piece right there. But I think what makes it work in this car is that it doesn't have this kind of line that the new cars have. And I think it kind of, when they're stacked up right next to each other like that, I think it makes it look a bit strange, just in my opinion. Some people might like it, but I think it looks a little weird. And that's the only part that kind of looks a bit concept-ish to me. Another thing, looking at it from the side view, is this wing that they put up here. I feel like that's pretty weird. I don't know who would really want something like that. But the last big thing on the side that kind of stands out to me is, even though I said they're pretty much proportionally the same, this kind of how they did the greenhouse is a bit different, and I think it kind of looks weird, like kind of hard to explain. But this angle here versus how it is here is a lot steeper, where like the roof line kind of goes back further and then drops more abruptly like that, versus here it kind of just drops down pretty quick. And I think that's one of the more notable things about the new GTRs that kind of has this identity pretty cemented, is the design of the greenhouse. So I think that's something that they probably should have tried to take angle for angle from the original car. Other than that, I think the side view on both cars looks pretty good. Another thing, kind of picking on the concept from the side, is this big ass wing that I think looks pretty ricer in my opinion. That might just be me. I'm not a big wing person. I kind of like this one. I think this is just the proper amount of wing to have on a car. I think anything more than that is, you kind of looking crazy unless you like in a GT3 RS or something. But another thing before we look at the back is this piece here. I think it looks a bit weird, and even on the new car they removed it. I think it even looked weird on this one where they had it go all the way to the front and then go into the back like that. I think that looked even worse. So I think it looks a bit better than it used to, but I do like how in the concept they completely avoided having that kind of wedge here. It's just all pretty smooth surfacing. I think that looks pretty good on the concept. Looking at the back of both, I think they both look pretty good from the back. I kind of like the actual GTR, how that one looks more than the concept. Again, I think this is pulled from the R34 with the tail lights and how those are designed. If I can get this up here, you can see that. I think it looks more similar to that than the new GTRs. But I do think one thing they pulled from it was the way that they kind of do the outline here, which I think the old R34s didn't really have, and a lot of the newer GTRs have this real bold outlining that kind of separates the back from the sides of the car. And even some of them, the other ones, have even more pronounced design there, and I think that looks pretty good on both of them. And I think it would have been cooler maybe to see on the concept to even have that more pronounced border how the other ones have, but either way I think it still looks pretty good. Another thing I want to talk about was these tail lights. I think look crazy, almost like the infinity mirror looking tail lights. I don't know if that's what it actually would be. I don't know if that's actually something that would be in production, but I think that would be pretty crazy to see driving down the street. And the last thing I kind of want to talk about was the diffuser. Looking at it from the side, if we can get that up real quick, I like how it kind of protrudes out down here a little more than the original car. I kind of like fat ass diffusers. I think that looks pretty good, and I think I kind of appreciate how it looks on the concept with it sticking out like that. Yeah, so overall, nothing too specific that I really want to talk about. I just kind of was excited to be able to at least see this concept and at least have a concept that's not like this one is just pretty much bullshit that you don't really even care about because it's never going to be made and nothing from it is probably going to ever get into production. Kind of appreciate this being more grounded and then taking again from the old and the new, putting them together. I think it's pretty cool to be able to see and being able to talk about it. So with that being said, appreciate it. Take care, be safe.